Welcome to the Lifetime Assembly channel. My name is John, and today I'm going to help you assemble your pump adjust basketball system. This video will follow the steps outlined in the assembly manual that comes with the basketball system. If you've already begun and need help on a specific step, check the comments or description below for timestamp associated with each step. Now let's take a look at what's inside the box. This assembly requires more than one person, so be sure to have at least one other adult available to help. Before we get started, let's take a look at the tools you'll need to complete the job. You'll need 2 3/8 wrenches, 2 1/2-inch wrenches, 2 9/16 wrenches, 2 3/4 wrenches, 2 1/2-inch sockets, a Phillips head screwdriver, a rubber mallet, a pencil, a drill. You may see us use an impact driver. If you decide to use one as well, be sure not to over torque or over tighten the hardware, a tape measure, 2 3/16 Allen keys, which are included, a block of wood, and a 1/4-inch Allen key. To make this easier, we're going to use a 3/8 socket, a 9/16 socket, a 3/4 socket, a Phillips bit, and a socket adapter. Depending on how you decide to fill the base of your system, you're going to need a funnel and 375 pounds of sand or a garden hose connected to a water source. It's important that you refer to the assembly manual to review the safety instructions for this build to prevent serious injury or property damage. Alright, let's get started.
Hacer clic en la esquina inferior derecha de este video para ver los subtítulos en español.
For this step, you'll need the bottom pole and the middle pole. The middle pole has the warning sticker, and the bottom pole is the shortest of the 3 poles. The top of these poles have a slit in them. Measure 4 inches down and draw a line. Attach the pole bracket to the top pole, making sure the highest point of the slope is closer to the bottom and that it goes on the same side as the larger holes. Slide the top pole onto the middle pole, making sure that the hole at the bottom of the middle pole is on the same side as the pole bracket. Before moving on to the next steps, make sure you've done the previous steps properly because the next step is irreversible. You're going to seat the poles together by striking one end on a piece of scrap wood or cardboard 5 or 6 times. You're going to need to use some force, so be sure not to hit your toes. Double check that the top pole covers the line on the middle pole that we made earlier. If it doesn't, do not continue and call customer service. It's crucial that you seat the poles together properly, otherwise your poles can't separate during use, which can cause serious injury or property damage. Slide the bottom pole into the middle pole while making sure that the dimple at the bottom is on the opposite side of the pole bracket. Seat the poles together using the same method as before, striking the bottom pole on a piece of scrap wood or cardboard. Remember, it's crucial that the middle pole covers the mark that we made on the bottom pole earlier. If it doesn't, do not continue and call customer service. Secure the poles together by inserting a self-tapping screw through the small hole at the bottom of the top and middle poles. The screws are designed to go through the metal in the underlying pole. Make sure the gasket is in the cap and then screw the cap onto the base. With the help of another person, attach the pole assembly to the base with the axle and wheels, making sure that the dimple is facing up. Attach the flat end of the pole brace to the base, making sure that the angled side is flat against the pole. Only finger tighten the hardware for now. Repeat for the other pole brace. Secure the pole braces to the pole with the hardware. Lay the system down so that the pole is laying on the ground, and then secure the pole braces to the base. Attach the backboard brackets to the back of the backboard, making sure they go on the outside. Slide the carriage bolts into the rim pivot bracket like this. Using a 1/2 inch socket, push the push nut onto your axle about 1/8 of an inch down. Slide the axle into these holes on the rim while adding the rim pivot bracket. Secure the axle by adding the other push nut on the opposite side. Slide the U-bolt into the bracket like this, then slide the U-bolt into the oblong holes on the backboard. Place a finger guard over the U-bolt, then add your rim, making sure these bolts go through these bottom holes. Secure the bolts on the rim pivot bracket to the backboard. Screw the gem nuts all the way onto the threads of the U-bolt. Slide the compression springs onto the U-bolt. Add the retainer plate. Then your flange nuts. Don't tighten these nuts all the way, just enough so that the rim doesn't wobble. Attach the cover plate to the bottom of the rim with the screws. Add your short extension arms to these set of holes on the backboard bracket, making sure to add your spacer. If you're having a hard time getting the bolt to go through, use the bolt to remount the excess powder coating in the holes. Only finger tighten this hardware for now. Attach the long extension arms to these set of holes on the backboard bracket, making sure to go through the hole that's further away from the other two holes. With the help of another person, attach the long extension arms to the lower set of holes in the pole. Tighten so that the bolt is flush with the end of the nut. Attach the cap to the top of the pole, making sure the clips line up with the holes. Connect the short extension arms through the top set of holes on the pole. Now go ahead and tighten the hardware, connecting the extension arms to the backboard brackets. Insert the shock rod into the oblong holes on the piston and secure with the hardware. Make sure not to over-tighten the hardware. The shock rod is meant to move freely. Place the gas spring cover over the gas spring. Make sure it's oriented like this. Align the holes in the gas spring cover and the gas spring with the holes on the pole bracket and secure with the hardware. Only tighten the hardware so that the end of the bolt is flush with the nut. Place the caps onto the pump adjust links, making sure that one is opposite the other. Secure the links to the pole with the hardware, making sure that the bolt is flush with the end of the nut. Take the half of the handle with the holes, place your handle frame oriented like this, then add the other half of the handle and secure with the hardware. Secure the brackets to the handle, making sure to go through the small holes on the brackets and the handle. Only tighten until the end of the bolt is flush with the nut. Attach your brackets on the handle to the second hole in the link. The spacers go in a specific order, so be sure to follow along. For the long spacers, make sure both flared ends are towards the center. Tighten so that the bolt is flush with the end of the nut. Connect the lifter arms to the long extension arms, making sure to add them on the inside. Tighten until the end of the bolt is flush with the nut. Line up the holes in the link, handle, extension arms, and gas spring. Insert the hardware with the spacers. The spacers go in specific locations, so be sure to follow along. Apply grease to the shock rod. Remove the film from the backboard. Add the center frame pad to the bottom of the backboard. The screws are designed to go through the metal of the frame, so make sure your drill is on the highest torque setting and fully charged. Add the corner frame pads using the same method as the center frame pad, except the corner frame pads will overlap the center frame pad. For instructions on how to fill the base of your system, follow this link here. We've already filled the base of our system, so we're going to move on to the next step. Now go ahead and add the net to the rim. With the help of another person, lift the backboard up until the rim measures 10 feet from the plane surface. Now that your system's at 10 feet, go ahead and place your sticker right below the cover on the gas spring. Thank you for watching this video on how to assemble your lifetime pump adjust basketball system. If you found this video helpful, give us a thumbs up. For more content like this, subscribe to our channel. If you have any other questions, feel free to reach out to our customer service team and check out our other awesome products at lifetime.com.